Well, I have to say the first thing is I'm giddy with excitement at being with everybody. So my first takeaway is actually the thrill of being in a room with people.
We've seen a period of time where branding budgets have fallen through to obviously performance taking center stage post-COVID and during the pandemic, and really seeing those conversations come to life around e-commerce, the future of innovation and what that means for us as marketers.
I think measurement is often left to the end. And I think we've got to actually put measurement at the beginning and understand how we're going to measure KPIs and how we're going to really be deliberate about what we're trying to do.
I think it's been a really interesting day in terms of takeaways around the way that e-commerce brands are working with the emerging media channels. So to hear from some of the brands themselves, the agency practitioners who are doing that, and the way that that's worked given so many of the changes in the last 18 months and things like lockdowns, physical availability going away, that's been really interesting for me.
I've had as interesting conversations in the breaks as I've had enjoying the panels. And I think we've all we've forgotten that, how brilliant it is to bump into people. I've already met someone who's setting up a consultancy looking at sustainable media, so we're going to connect afterwards. So it's not just about the brilliance of what's on stage, but it's the side conversations as well.
All of us, we all know that consumer behaviour has changed. It was really interesting to hear the brand's perspective, the agency's perspective and a broadcaster's perspective around what they're seeing and the different demands that are coming to TV as it's now becoming a much more digital medium.
I think the key trend is, technology is definitely having a massive impact in buying, and all the tools and the attribution and the automation of all that is to some degree commoditizing a bit of the buy. But actually the influence of planning in buying, I think, is one of the key things in terms of people understanding that actually it's more than just letting the machines do the work. And it's about applying kind of like human understanding and insight, which really is a behavioural kind of like understanding.
What we've seen today and yesterday is just the quality of the content, being just the very engaged audience, the high calibre of the speakers. We need to keep talking. There's a lot of things that challenge this industry.
Overall, I think people are re-inspiring themselves about the importance of media planning, the richness of opportunities, and of course how it's our job to get through that complexity so that the brands get the most effective investments they can.
I've really enjoyed getting together with other people. We've missed that as a community. It's also a time to get away from our jobs and take a moment to think about what we need to think about as a group. And of course there's forums and there's ways for us to get together, but the biggest problem that we have in our little industry within the M25 is that we have these tiny little bubbles of echo chambers. So the more we can have these kind of events where we do actually get different sorts of people from outside of our tiny little echo chambers, I think that's really, really important for us.